Welcome to Joe's Astrology, and this is the astrology birth chart for Andrew Tate. Let me get this up here. And he is a Sagittarius sun and moon. We don't have the birth time for this chart, so this is a chart without the birth time. So the moon might not be that close to the sun, but he is a Sagittarius sun and moon and Saturn and Uranus, so he has a nice stellium and fire of Sagittarius. And that's all making a square to this Jupiter-Mars conjunction in Pisces. So Jupiter rules Pisces, but Mars is, so it is in a sign that it likes to be in. It is with Mars though, so Jupiter is really expanding that Mars and really showing that this guy can be a fighter, a very masculine person. Just because the planets are in Pisces, that doesn't make you less masculine. This is showing the example of that in this chart. It's somebody with all this Pisces and Sagittarius, though, with that Jupiter there involved. We do see someone who is a teacher in their own right, a traveler. I think I'm pretty sure this guy has traveled all over the world. Also, one thing I wanted to point out here right from the beginning, he has this Mars-Venus trine here with Venus and Pluto involved as well. So we see that with that Mars-Pluto, we see that ambition, we see that will, that strong will. And Scorpio is ruled by Mars, is ruled by Pluto. So we see heavy Mars, coming back to this Mars Jupiter, we see heavy Mars Jupiter in this chart. And what I was going to say about Venus, the Venus Mars is making that trine, so there's a harmony between the masculine and the feminine, and it's in water. So this guy can be okay with his emotional self. He's not afraid to show his emotions. But at the same time, it can also make him a very tenacious fighter, adding that emotional element to it. And with this node here, the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra, they're both ruled by Mars and Venus. So we see, and I wanted to say that stellium in Sagittarius is making a trine to the nodes, and there's no squares to the nodes. So this is a guy who has very good balance over his masculine and feminine side. Whatever you think of him, that's the truth. It's right here revealed in the astrology. I mean, it may be trendy to say bad things about this guy, but there's a reason why he's so popular, and it's revealed right here in the astrology, just with a really good placements of Mars and Venus. We see Venus is in its fall, and it's attached to Pluto in Scorpio, but like I said, it's making that trine out to Mars. Actually, it's also in what's known as a mutual reception. So that Mars in Pisces receives that Venus where Mars likes to be in Scorpio, where it rules, and the moon and Mars receives Venus where it likes to be in Pisces. And then if you throw Jupiter there as well, it's actually much better than it's appearing at first look. He is a YouTuber. We don't see any really Aquarius. He's a YouTube guy. He does have a Uranus-Saturn conjunction. Saturn representing his work. You can see it's in the Aries decan, so it's got that more Jupiter-Mars combination. Uranus is making a loose square to Jupiter. There's not really much else that stands out. I have to see the houses. Although it is making one big thing, though, I just noticed it is making almost an exact trine to the north node and sextile to the south node. So that comes into play. That's a pretty big aspect there for representing being a YouTuber. And he's not really a classic YouTuber. He's just a popular person on YouTube. We see his Neptune here. This is a guy with Neptune sextile Mars. He can really has that opportunity to make his dreams come true, make his with his drive and his ambition and his desire. I wonder if there's any. See if there's any quintiles here. And 69 plus 3, and there is. Mars and Uranus is making. Speaking of YouTubers and Aquarius, Mars and Uranus is making an exact 72-degree quintile. So he has a talent with that electric. He's a talent with that Mars. Make that with that contact with Uranus, it really makes it electric and dynamic. See if there's anything else. Oh, and he has this Neptune Venus sextile as well. So he has Neptune right in the middle of this Mars Venus trine. What does that mean? Well, it kind of relates to what I was saying earlier with Neptune, and you have Neptune being like the cosmic giver. We call it the cosmic Santa Claus, and we have that with that Jupiter and Pisces. This guy can be, he can have empathy. He can really show empathy and compassion for people, and it's with it right with its sextile to Venus. It's like having Venus in Pisces, where he can also be a money guy, like he draws money to himself. But it's just interesting that Neptune is right in between that trine between Mars and Venus. Like there's so many indicators of this guy uh, being in between this masculine and feminine energy. I guess you would just call it like having like good use or a talent in its expression in life. So this is Andrew Tate. If you like astrology, if you like these breakdowns, I have the charts of many other YouTubers and many other famous people. I'll have the playlist come up here on the screen, and I hope you have a great day.